Welcome to Magic the Gathering, where your opponent plays a 3-mana permanent and then they die. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be playing some Boros mice, and like most of the matches you're going to see in this video, we're going to keep our intro very short. Alright, getting to go first. We're the aggro deck, which is pretty awesome. Our hand's a little bit weird, but we already have like the creature land in hand, so it feels like we might as well just keep. Even though Emberheart Challenger is definitely at risk of getting popped here. A white land is interesting. We don't have the land. If I would have ripped the land, I might hold off on just playing this. Because again, we don't have a threat, but... Okay. Well. It says flash, so I feel like I can wait. But I can also go Ethereal Armor, Shard Mage's Rescue. Right? Try to take another hit of the land here, and we hit it, which is awesome. But now I just go in for 4. We could always kind of invest a bit more, but it doesn't seem like playing into a lot. Ooh. Ooh. Sure. Wait for them to like decide here before we overcommit at all, but yeah, I mean, this in. This card is lost, by the way, whatever card we kind of flip over here. Unfortunate. Unfortunate of a lost card to have. And there's an Omniscience. Okay, so we have to kill them. Like, I'm learning that they need to be dead. Or there's just no shot, right? So, I guess it's here for prowess. Hope to hit that Monstrous Rage again, and we just don't find it. But we do find the Manifold Mouse, and just like that, the game is closed. Because the Manifold Mouse is fair and balanced. I was like, we have a lot of outs, but we have to hit the out, right? And obviously, I think, no questions asked, we're just dead next turn. So, ridiculous aggro deck going against ridiculous combo deck. We come out on top that time. Weird hand, but it's fine. Kind of depends what our opponent leads off on. Apparently, it's fighting them to death over there. I don't know what was happening, but they were not having a good time. Oh, man. A tough one, huh? Going to be Esper Pixie, I would believe. We're going to go with a Scavenger here. Nowhere to run. Obviously, a strong contender for a card that we have to deal with, which is going to be tough. Yeah, there's Esper Momentum Breaker, sure. Going to be a tough one because they also play Shelter, which is another card we're also vulnerable to. Vulnerable to all cards. High or low, and 2 of those is great, but as you saw, Momentum Breaker just bullies. Just not a whole lot we can do. I mean, I guess it's just like play the Heartfire hero and rest on our morals. I don't know. Just lose the game by being on the draw. There's obviously the game intensity is much different if we're on the opposite side. Like, for example, if they play a Pixie here, pick up Momentum and play it. We have a lot of ground we have to cover. Obviously, I'm not blocking. Even if they could Kaido here, I guess, which honestly, I will take. I will 100% take a Kaido here. It feels arguably like not one of the best plays to make. It's like an okay play, right? Because they want to do this and they might try to stun my Heartfire hero, but that's not a nowhere to run, so my protection will work. Rail 2 and draw a card. We will barrel this on our Heartfire hero looking to take out the Kaido. Obviously, some cards to be drawn here would be nice, but can't have really everything every time. Holly's Favor is a good piece. I don't know if I really want to commit it. I might just play the Challenger and hold up our protection spell again. They've been 1 card. I will cast this now because we want our creature to be big enough, pretty kind of by default here to take out the Kaido. I might just have to play my creature and attack Kaido here. Would go for this, but it seems just worse fundamentally. Obviously, this gains them 5 life, but I think them setting themselves back a bit by putting the Scavenger in hand is probably fine. Now they need a nowhere to run, and nowhere to run isn't technically big enough to take out our Heartfire hero right now because we could target it with the Shard Mage's Rescue, and same with the Emberheart Challenger. Like, either option doesn't technically work. Then Atali's Favor targeting a challenger is pretty nice. Manifold Mouse off the top with 4 mana is also incredibly strong. Now we just want them to try to Shelter by Ghost, and then we Shard Mage's Rescue again. This Momentum Break, it's an interesting choice of what we're supposed to take over one or the other. It's like a one-hand Heartfire Hero is already bigger, and Ethereal Armor is much better on it in this specific spot. But seems like we have a Momentum Break coming on the following turn here. It enters a counter spreads. Will Heartfire or Fear of Isolation get it? Who knows? You go for the smaller one. Okay. My turn. Okay. Okay. Okay, Chief. Yeah, I mean, that's the draw I wanted, so it's the draw I'm giving. Already played a land and everything, so I think the weird thing to do here is target this 2 times and give it both and not target my challenger. Because the challenger would just get traded for free. It wouldn't remove the Fear of Isolation, and the Fear of Isolation could then trade off the challenger. But maybe they just have straight up removal here. 2 Manifold Mouses, a Heartfire Hero. A lot to deal with, and we do have good cards in hand, especially if a Manifold Mouse does live at the end of this. And remember, if it's not a nowhere to run removal of Heartfire Hero, it is just 4 damage to the dome. Obviously, Shelter by Ghost is another option. Counter here, what do we take? Yes, I'll drop the 1/1. Now, Shelter by Ghost is obviously a good option. But what to take from that is an interesting choice altogether. And hopefully they don't have it. But if they do, they do. Top 13, maybe. Obviously no Kaido plan can happen here. Just getting to combat next turn is just going to be so good. Get out not available, which I've seen some people picking back up, which I don't necessarily agree with. This town ain't big enough as a card, I guess, that they could have. Attack with a Fear. Interesting. Sometimes you have to know when to be aggressive or hold back. They have 4 extra life to gain off momentum, so they're theoretically at 14. We will start our campaign right here. Extra draw. Give it trample. Discover 3, so we don't know what it'll get. Does have to resolve. And there's a Heartfire Hero. Here. +1/+1, and we'll have trample. So obviously the challenger will be getting the double strike here over both of these. We discover 3, so we'll see. 2 mana, and this town seems like the obvious choice. You here? Don't want to give the Emberheart Challenger flying because there's just not really a need to. Because again, of the trample, 3 toughness is not enough. If it's this town, we're just going to blow it out. With obviously our rescue. Come on, you got it. Not today, brother. Not today. It's protection for your boy. That's not Shroud, so I would go in, still just do our due diligence, double strike here, and then I'll just let you have a good block if you want. Doesn't really matter. Obviously the 7/6 in the air, having double strike is better, but why not keep the 1-lander that enters tapped? Why not, dude? Doesn't matter. Smile. Oh, it matters. It might matter. If we would have hit the land though, like how much it wouldn't have mattered would have been crazy. They're probably burst lightning my 1/1, right? Torch. Okay. Interesting call. There's the land, so we knew it mattered a bit, just not entirely how much. In turn. Now, if we rip a shelter after protecting our creature this turn, we'll just be sitting really, really well. Kind of one of the things, right? Get off my bone, dude. You can do 4. And that's fine. We prevent 2 damage to face, which I'm pretty okay with. And we establish this creature as kind of a dominant blocker for the following turns. And there's an ethereal armor. So, load it up, I guess. Here. I could have a bounce spell, so now we're just kind of in waiting territory. You have to really protect our life total. A slick shot would be tough, but it seems like they're on 2 mana. Hey, go to look again. Do remember, we do have a Monstrous Rage in our hand with an ethereal armor active on a creature. So it is very, very possible that we slam dunk one of these. It's been a slick. Okay. Are we aggressive? We are not aggressive. Okay. So this tells me I should commit my Shard Mage's Rescue to some extent. Because they're obviously next turn, I'm probably just guaranteed dead to this, right? Now we're up to 9. And there's a land. This doesn't enter the way we want. We give our creature flying here. To 11. The counter goes on. And I believe we get the Monstrous Rage for the lethal. It's really close. It's exactly. It's exactly. No way. It's exactly. Very cool. We get to take away the game. Taking a risky bet on the one lander and getting absolutely rewarded for no reason. Very cool. Welcome to Arena. My opponent goes first. We have a nice turn 1 play. The protection spell, a flight, and if Shelter by Ghost matters, we have a very good Shelter by Ghost card. Like target in hand. So, seems like it's going to matter against the mirror probably. So, I just kind of wait in spots like this so I can play the Scavenger and hold up the protection spell. Feels like Shelter and stuff's going to matter a ton. My opponent just commits. Okay. Normally that doesn't happen. But I guess so. Nice. Play a Scavenger, I suppose. Most of the time your opponent just doesn't immediately say, you know what, blank board Monstrous Rage. Sure. Well, our opponent's about it. They know the plan. They're on the draw or on the play, so they obviously have a bit more space to be aggressive. Okay. I mean, all I resolve, so I can't really do anything about it. Seems like they have the protection spell, which is unfortunate. Yeah, they definitely have one, I think. But we have to kind of take this the opposite way. They have a removal spell. They have a removal spell. It's fine. We have to kind of take this the opposite way where I think to some extent we have to just Shelter by Ghost our creature. And instead of targeting theirs, I'm just going to target their equipment that gives flying. Obviously, I think they just have a protection spell in hand. Probably going to see it here. Cool. I didn't target your creature at all. Then I have to attack for 5 because obviously I don't win the block there. And then we basically have to hope that they don't have a Shelter. If they have a Shelter, take our Shelter, we lose. Okay, cool. My opponent goes first. Unfair. Sure. Like, reasonable. It's fine. Blue-white, sure. You know what? It could be omniscience. That's what a lot of blue-white is. So I'm just ignoring every fiber of my being that tells me, hey, man, we don't do that. Oh, Clayfire Bricks. Okay. Interesting. So it could be Synthesizer then? Shelter by Ghost is cool. I think the obvious choice is to play a Manifold Mouse here. Because even if they answer one of my creatures, I can just pump the other one to the moon, right? So even if something happens here, double strike, I almost hit trample. That's why they ask you the question. They're really trying to get under your skin. They're like, mess up once. Now tell them my monitor's never safe. There's the Synthesizer. Do we have lethal? Welcome to Magic the Gathering, where your opponent plays a 3-mana permanent and then they die. It's just not fair. Yeah, so my opponent is dead. We are going to monster trades this. I'm pretty positive they're dead. I could be wrong. They're literally dead. It doesn't matter. This is another +2. The aura enters. It is now +10. I will give this double strike, and I will hit you for 20 off of one creature on turn 3. Okay. I think this hand is just way too mana heavy to keep. At least it feels that way. I mean, I guess I get to plot this. That does change my mind a bit, actually. I do act. Okay, double 3 malls. Are we playing? Are we playing the game? That second mall or the third mall? Literally no thought. I don't know if they accidentally clicked it twice. On a red. Okay, and we draw a land. So, you know, the mirror inbound. And I have one of the best cards to beat them. Boros. Awesome. Great. Fantastic. It's weird because I don't even want to overcommit here. If I play this and they burst lightning, I feel awful. So let's play this. We'll see what happens here. Pass. Seems like I can do this. Okay, cool. I mean, realistically, are they going to have everything? No. Like, look at... if they go creature sheltered by ghost, I was going to say, I will actually freak out. That'd be awesome. I would love to lose that way. It'd be so sick. Here. All right, let's cascade a little bit. Or discover a little bit. Sure. Ooh, ethereal armor. Pretty good. Up to 9. Here you go. Bro, every game's been 2 minutes or less. What a video this is going to be. I'll go first. We only have 1 threat, but we have a pretty solid hand. And that 1 threat also gets helped by like a ruckus. In a way, it's always weird because you never want to ruckus the challenger the turn you play it, which is kind of against the idea of challenger, which is why I think ruckus is typically played at a lower clip. But sometimes ruckus is just strong enough with the menace capability that we can typically get away with something like that. So we see a red source. Oh boy. So it's weird because they could in theory be also Boros, right? But we're gonna play a challenger because if they play a shelter by ghost and take our challenger away from us, we obviously have play scavenger, put a shelter by ghost on that scavenger and win that match that way. There's another Emberheart challenger, sure. Or Heartfire hero. This is my Emberheart challenger. You leave it alone. He's a good boy. Tried his best. So now it's interesting, right? Where I play land, I play scavenger. I think they have a burst lightning. I think that's what the pause is going to be here. And now I'm going to elect to try to ruckus the challenger. And if they respond, I have the feather of flight. And they don't respond. Okay, so now the plan is definitely to load this up. Because 1 red land's not going to do anything. And I'm going to play the shelter by ghost and get rid of the challenger. I just don't care. And with that said, we win the game pretty easily. I mean, we have like the arguably the best start you can have, especially if we were on the play where we go Heartfire Hero and the Manifold Mouse. It's just so strong. And we have Monstrous Rage. Like Golgari is queued up and ready to go. Feels like my Heartfire hero is not long for this world. Definitely most likely should be removed, but we'll see. No protection spell here. Kind of curious on the do nothing strat from our opponent. I'm always wary. I mean, I guess I just played a mountain, right? Now we anoint that, or we get rid of Manifold Mouse. Oftentimes, if you can, Manifold Mouse is the remove, actually, which is weird. Because it's what enables so much, and a Monstrous Rage on a Manifold Mouse is just as deadly as a Heartfire hero. Heartfire hero just gets free counters, so it always feels like... I don't know how to explain it. It always feels like a lot more optimal to do it that way. Our opponent a little in the tank here. They go Smuggler's Surprise to get cards. That's an instant speed spell, sir. You don't have to do... You also play to land. So I would assume Vein Ripper and things like that are going to matter a ton here. So what do I do? Do I play Scavenger and then Monstrous Rage and just try to put on pressure against the kind of Destroy Enchantment -3/3 deck? I play Scavenger, Monstrous Rage, that's up to 4, so -3/3 effects won't do it. So it feels like I should commit here a bit. Now we'll pop for 6. Now, obviously, could they have another Anoint? Yes, absolutely. But I think I'm going to play to my out of needing to get the game closed. Especially because I have personal experience playing Smuggler's Surprise, and it feels like they're a Vein Ripper variation of it. And Vein Ripper is going to be a big problem. Or a Vaultborn Tyrant. Things like that are just so big and strong that we won't necessarily be able to get through them that well. And with our mana color limitation right now, it's a little bit tougher. I think we're about to see the Virtue, which we grew our Heartfire Hero out of. Ooh, Overlord. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Oh, and the land draw. That's huge, actually. So, what do we go for here? I don't think we have enough for lethal by any stretch. Well, we'll play the land regardless. Do I just play Scavenger and then maybe just Ruckus? Or do I just Ruckus? A little part of me wants to hold this, but even if they gain a ton of life, I think if I just play a bit aggressive, I'm fine. And then we can opt to go for Ruckus here. And also the counters don't lose value here as much, so I will just load up this one specifically. I got Massacre Worm the other day, and it's -2/2 across all creatures, and I'm not doing it again. Also, if the Heartfire Hero just die, it's enough to remove my opponent from the game. They have to exile it or use a Virtue of Persistence ×2, which if they double persistence here, they go to 6, and we win, I think. I believe we win, right? Because it's gained 2 life. Yeah, so they go to 6, 8, and then I have Aura. So it's what? That's 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, I don't win. Interesting. It would have to be another spell. A Zombify for an Overlord, sure. Removal could be in hand now, but if they tap out, we're obviously pretty pumped about it. Game, is this a fight? Yeah, it's a fight, isn't it? They have this, maybe. Maybe they have a way to bushwhack. I don't know. Interesting. Sucks, but Zombify is an interesting thing to have in our Smuggler's Surprise deck. I feel like that's too many. This is too many deck cards. I like the idea. Do Smuggler's Surprise early, and if you hit something into that graveyard that matters, then you can leave it, pick up the lands, and then Zombify it. Maybe it's just use extra copies of that. But playing a lot of these cards, like Virtue and Archdruid's Charm, seems weird when they've been kind of pushed out of the meta. It's kind of hard to play all those cards in the same deck, but I don't know what their whole list is, so I have no idea. The Ruckus. Okay, well. I know Shelter by Ghost isn't available, and I have a protection spell and a double white. I'm just going to ride the Scavenger to the win con here, I think, if I can. I go, oh, okay. So now it's am I supposed to Ruckus this thing or what? It's always the idea, right? It's do you actually? Or do I just play my tap land, go for a rescue, maybe just take a big hit, then Shelter by Ghost it after? Or I just Shelter by Ghost this now and I just call it a day. The problem is I didn't really want them to draw, but I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Okay, cool. Our opponent didn't have a response Shelter by Ghost with the creature. I know that's quite a tank, but it's just I don't want them to draw, and then they get another draw, and then they play a 1-drop, Shelter by Ghost, my Shelter by Ghost, and then we just have this weird game where we play, and it's just awkward. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like 10 games in, I'm going to call it there. Alright, so here we are in the outro, and just like the intro, I'm going to keep this pretty short and sweet, but I will actually talk about the list unlike in the intro. I intentionally cut it, by the way. If you get to this point, I'm intentionally cutting it off because I think it's funny. I don't think there's a lot to really talk about when we're coming in. I think this just tends to be the best kind of combo 1-2 punch in the game, where we have Heartfire Hero, Manifold Mouse, and Monstrous Rage is just sweet. Typically, if your deck is built with this idea in mind, you're probably going to win some games. You add this in mind, you're going to win some more games. You add this in mind, you're going to win a lot more games. And then the rest of this almost feels like clutter. It doesn't matter. Like, it's realistically, this matters. The rest kind of doesn't. Like, you could build it as a burn deck on this side. You could build it as what we have it here. You can go, I don't know, some people are playing like Corey Steelcutters with Wrens and stuff. Like, it really, this side really doesn't matter, especially like the Atali's Favor and Ruckus's. These are definitely, if you're going to play this and you don't want to play these are your flex spots. And Feather can kind of be a flex spot if you want it to be. But with that said, that's all I really got. I mean, deck kind of explains itself. It's been around for a while. And we were just kind of in the pits. I needed to win some games for my ego. And so that's what we did today. And with that said, we'll move on. And I hope you all enjoyed.